Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And of course, welcome to our post-match reaction to Liverpool's disappointing 2-2 draw against Brighton. And yeah, what the shit was that? It was absolutely just disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, this feels like a defeat in many ways, especially with Liverpool being 2-0 up in the game. And I know there'll be plenty of people, winding us up about that, especially being rival fans. And suddenly Arsenal fans think they're in the title race, even though they are miles away from even the top four. But hello, everyone. Hopefully, you're on a fantastic day. Hopefully, all of you, like I said, are having a fantastic day. And if you are, then please hit that subscribe button as well, and please hit that notification bell to remind yourselves of when we go live or post a video. Guys, let me know as well if the audio is okay, as always in the chat, and hopefully all of you are having a fantastic day, like I did say. Helen saying, hi Con, I hope you are doing well. Helen, I am okay apart from the result. Which means I'm terrible, but we definitely move away from that. Let me take that out of my ear. Wasn't the best result today, says Mark. Yeah, it wasn't, was it, mate? It was shocking, performance wise. It's a lot we have to discuss about that Liverpool midfield today. Just did not work whatsoever, especially in that second half. And I was very surprised that Jurgen did not change things whatsoever to try and counteract, Brighton. And fair play, and I will say this before we do get on to anything about, Liverpool's performance or so forth. Honestly, Brighton deserved it. And to be fair, two of their goals were fantastic. The first goal, to lob Alisson over, I thought that was a brilliant goal. And the second goal as well, the quick pass and move, thought that was fantastic as well. So, fair play to Brighton, you bastards. But no, fair play to them. They were pretty good. And, on another day, they would have won it. But it was just so frustrating, especially Liverpool being 2-0 up. And looking good in the first half. It wasn't like if Liverpool, didn't show up all game. Liverpool were there, they were fighting, they were showing themselves in that first half, and Liverpool were 2-0 up. Um, Jordan Henderson in the fourth minute, and then of course, Mo Salah assisting for Jordan Henderson, and then of course I think was it Trent or Ox? It was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's cross for Sadio Mane, and Mane made it 2-0. With 24 minutes gone, and you're thinking, right, well, this is good. Brighton have had a good showing. They've had a good 10-15 minutes in the game. Liverpool now will start to score, the third and the fourth, and it could potentially be 5 or 6 the way it was going. But fair play to Brighton. They kept themselves in the game, throughout the game in particular. But the big, turning point for me was when, of course, Naby Keita went off injured. Jurgen, did say before the game it was a bit of a miracle that he started the game. Saying that he's only, done full training since Thursday. So, not the best, then you could say, but realistically, who else did we have there? From a prime example of that second half, who did we have in that midfield? Nobody whatsoever. With Fabinho being out, James Milner being out, Thiago. There's probably one other person I'm forgetting about, but there's so many injuries in midfield at the minute, and it goes back to that. Should we have boosted that midfield by one more signing? It always comes back to that, but again, with the players that we do have, we should be doing a lot better than what we did today. But guys, let me know your thoughts before I have my second half rant, because that was a excuse my French again, but an absolute shit show for that second half. Mark says showed more fight than United. I think that was considering a question earlier on. Evening, may hope you are well. I'm doing fantastic, Chris. Apart from the result, so hopefully having a fantastic day as well, mate. We were so poor in the second half. Very lucky to get a point. I would agree, Helen. Absolutely agree with that. Chris, second 2 points dropped, unfortunately, but Brighton deserves something from the game. Scoreline doesn't lie. Exactly, mate. And look, like I did say, fair play to Brighton because they were fantastic, wasn't it, in that second half? I'm very unlucky not to get the win. But just going on to the second half pretty quickly, the midfield for me was absolutely shocking. I think this game proved yet again that Jordan Henderson cannot play the six role. I don't think he can. We said this, I think it was Brentford. I think I said this, where Hendo is no good in the six. Hendo can play in the six against a Watford, against a Burnley. Then you could say teams that are not going to come after you. Brighton under Graham Potter, they come after you. They're a very good attacking side. And Hendo cannot do it. Of course, we had to play Hendo there today because there was no Fabinho, no Thiago there. Even though, of course, we all know Thiago's better in an eight. But even that, for me, it was just shocking how you could tell the midfield wasn't right, and Jurgen didn't do anything about it. Now, I don't know whether, well, of course, he didn't have that many good options on the bench. Minamino he brought on, well, near the end of the game, he didn't really have another midfielder to go in. It was all, of course, all attacking mids or just defenders on the bench, apart from Divock Origi and Jota. But it's, you know, it's where you could, if you can see something's wrong, change it. Even if you went 4-2-3-1 and put Bobby a bit deeper to get the ball, maybe just do that. But I don't know. I generally don't know. Curtis Jones, I think today was one of his worst games in a Liverpool shirt. I think Jordan Henderson, like I said, doesn't work in a six for me. Too far up the pitch in terms of being in that six. And of course, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think he was absolutely woeful today. Didn't Going forward wasn't the best, apart from the cross that assisted for Sadio Mane. Defensively, I don't think he was good, not covering Trent. Like a number eight should do in a Liverpool system, wasn't doing any of that. I just think it was very, very shocking to see how bad the midfield was. And you look at it and you go, as soon as Naby Keita was hit, the balance went in that midfield. And I think realistically, the plan was for Jurgen was for Curtis Jones to be replaced by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain later on in that game, and then we'd work from that. But for me, it's very, very disappointing, especially from the result from Manchester City. Crystal Palace beating Man City by 2-0, and Chelsea, of course, were losing at one. Well, I think they were drawing at one stage, wasn't they? But they did end up winning 3-0, and they now are 3 points clear of us, which isn't good. And this is the big disappointing thing for me as well, guys, is the fact that back in 18-19, when we were going for the title, and realistically, we're going for the title now, aren't we, guys? Us, City and Chelsea, we're all fighting for the Premier League title. In the 18-19 season, yes, we got 96 points, but so many, I think we drew about 8 games in that season. But there was 1 or 2 games where we shouldn't have drawn. We should have just finished off the game and won the game. And this seems the exact same. Brentford was the same, and now Brighton is the same. It's so frustrating, again, that Liverpool are drawing games that we should be winning. 2-0, we should be clear. Even 2-1, we should be clear. I know that Mo put a goal in the back of the net, was offside for that. I thought Sadio could have passed that a bit quicker, but you just look at it. It is just very, very disappointing. And you just look at it and you go, against Atletico Madrid, if Naby is out, we are praying for Fabinho or Thiago to be involved. I think hopefully Fabinho will be sound. I know that Pep Linders and Jurgen said that he should be fine for Atletico, but we just missed Fabinho completely in that midfield. And I think today's game just proved potentially, next season, either we need a person that can play a 6 and an 8 to back Fabinho, because I don't think Jordan Henderson can do a 6 role anymore. And yeah, I just personally think that is where I think Liverpool are lacking at the moment, is that 6 role. If Fabinho is not there, then there isn't really anyone else apart from Jordan Henderson, which I don't think he should be in the 6. He should be in an 8 role for Liverpool. Anyway, but guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I thought I've gone on a little bit of a rant. It's not an angry rant, but it's a frustrating rant. Then you could say, I was so poor in the second. I was very lucky to get a point. I think I read that. To be fair, both teams had great chances. Lucky draw in the end. Yeah, absolutely agree. Helen says Brighton are not a bad side to play. Potter is doing a great job with them. I said yesterday on Doug's channel, I think he's one of the best managers in the Premier League, well, young managers anyway. And I think personally he will definitely get a top job like a Leicester or Arsenal or something like that in the future. Anyway, I think he's gonna have a very very high job. Could he do Man City? Maybe if Pep leaves, who knows? But I don't think that is what they would want to do. But anyway, but who knows? City lost, and we 3 points behind Chelsea. Still early in the season, as much as I'm disappointed with the result. Yeah, Chris, absolutely. Fabinho hugely missed for us. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. Sure, we will catch Chelsea. Yeah, look. I'm confident we can catch Chelsea. Look, I'm not threatening about that. What I'm threatened about is the fact that Liverpool 2 years ago would have won that game and killed it off. Even if we were playing ugly, we'd kill it off. Now it's like Liverpool seem not to have a plan B if things go wrong. Like Jurgen just kept the same thing going. Then, if that makes sense, like I think we could all pretty much see that the midfield needed something, or you needed like I don't know, go into a 4-2-3-1. With Curtis Jones and Jordan Henderson. I don't know. But try something because it wasn't working quite clearly. And yeah, it's just a bit of frustration then I would say from it all. To be fair, I expect changes for Wednesday's game at Atletico. Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. George is then saying Frank Kessie from Milan is on a free and he is a six. Yeah, Kessie is available in the summer. Who knows? Of course, we are a very long way from the summer. We could even sign someone in January. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If we take a quick look at the stats for the game, because yeah, I was looking, just before we came on, and it was, well, not shocking, just, well, you could say a bit shocking anyway, but let me make this a bit bigger for you guys. Anyway, you can see that's the ratings for the teams. You look at it, Jordan Henderson, 7.7. Mo was highest, was 7.9 for Liverpool, but Mo had a quiet game, didn't he? But realistically, I want to talk about Lallana and Basuma as well. I thought them two had a fantastic game for Brighton, especially Lallana. Look, Adam Lallana finally got his goodbye to Liverpool, and look, from what I saw on Twitter anyway, had a standing ovation, which he absolutely deserved for his time at Liverpool. But you look at that total stats, you look at that 1.5, 0 xG for Brighton, 1.24 for Liverpool. 14 shots, 12 chances created to 10. Very, very high paced football it was, wasn't it, guys? And you just look at it, stats very, very similar. You even look by here, passes very, very similar. Liverpool, edging it, of course, on more passes as we do like to suffocate teams, but it was just a little bit. It was very attacking football. Let's not take that away from that, but it is what it is, and look, good friend of Klopp's. I think that was with I take Pulisic. Pulisic is not coming to Liverpool, my friend. Unfortunately, nowhere near for that anyway. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts about it. Look, very disappointing. Like I said, I'm got. It feels like a defeat. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel like a defeat. Where again, we should have killed the game off for 2-0 or even 2-1. We had the chances, we had the creation to do it, but for me, I think that midfield was diabolical, and I never want to see it ever again. I'm not gonna lie, but looking ahead now, Thiago hopefully will be back for Atletico. Maybe Fabinho as well. Do they come in straight away? Fabinho for me absolutely does. But then does Thiago come back in straight away? Naby. We need to see what's happening with Naby. Hopefully that's not going to be too long with his injury now. Jurgen saying before the game that it was a miracle that he started, and maybe should have been on the bench for the game. And would we have started that 11 then? Who knows? But I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Of course, with Atletico now midweek, we've got West Ham then towards the end of the week, and then of course an international break, and then after that we've got Arsenal, Porto, and of course Southampton. The game that I'm going to, I was meant to be going to this game, but yes, I'm going to Southampton. So fingers crossed. Anyway, Liverpool can be a bit better than that. Anyway, Helen says reports saying about Salah 117 million deal. I don't think it's true. Helen, please elaborate on this. Is this a contract talk? Is it a deal going elsewhere, or is it a Twitter, just a Twitter story then you could say? But guys, let me know your thoughts. I know a few people were at the game. I know that McKendo was at the game. I know that our good friend Ben was at the game. I believe Mickey was at the game as well. So very, very disappointing then for them lot. Of course, I was meant to be going, but couldn't make it due to reasons. But look, I'm glad I didn't go a little bit, because look, it's very, very disappointing, isn't it? Any result that isn't a win at Anfield is a bit disappointing, but it does feel like a defeat in my opinion. But like I did say, fair play to Brighton, because they did deserve it. And look, we move on to the next one now. Atletico Madrid midweek, and fingers crossed anyway we can have a better result midweek than we have against Brighton anyway. But a quick look then at the Premier League table, if I can quickly get it up. But City losing, that was probably the best part about today, was them losing anyway. But let's have a quick look then at the Premier League table. Of course, you can see on the right hand side for that. At the minute, Chelsea looking very good at the top of the league without winning 3-0 against Newcastle, without Timo Werner, without Romelu Lukaku. When you look at it, 3 points clear of us and 5 points now clear of Manchester City. Chelsea looking very, very dangerous at the top of the Premier League. Still undefeated for Liverpool. As you can see there, 6 wins, 4 draws. If we hadn't drawn this and we hadn't drawn, against Brentford, we would be right up there over Chelsea. But you look at it as well, Manchester United, I don't know what the scoreline is at the minute. I think it was 0-0 before I came on and looked at the stream. But, you look at Brighton as well, 16 points for them, 4 wins, 4 draws and 2 defeats. Very, very good for Brighton. And, they are a very good side. But you look at it now, we move on to West Ham, which, in the league, 5 games, well, 5 wins, I should say, 2 draws and 2 defeats. So fingers crossed, anyway, we can, batter them next week then, we should say anyway. But, guys, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Short post-match show. Hopefully we'll have a video tomorrow, maybe, or even Monday, speaking a bit more in depth. Maybe I'll get a few of the guys on anyway over the next couple of days and weeks and so on. So hopefully anyway we'll get that all sorted for you guys, of course. And yeah, we move on now to Atletico Madrid midweek. We will do a match preview show for that. And yeah, hopefully all of you have a fantastic rest of your day. If I don't see you for the rest of the weekend, have a fantastic rest of your weekend. If you haven't already, then please hit that subscribe button if you're new to the Cop Council. And yeah, I will see you all next time, guys. Fingers crossed with a better result, midweek anyway. But like I said, I will see you all later on. Try Reds, and you never walk alone.